What is up, guys? And welcome back to Aetheral Space.
2.14. What happened last time, Darnell? Several minutes ago, from your perspective, in the black hole.
Last time I destroyed my fucking voice. You can tell it's probably a little gravelly, trying to do SAMAEL justice. But SAMAEL and Dragan, it was just their fight, and Dragan's strategy was revealed. He's been trying to inject ZAKOS with syringes of sedatives, because normally they would do nothing because of his Aether, but his strategy was if he got enough, he would manage to get him down. He got 7 before... Well, he got 6, and then SAMAEL grabbed him by the neck, and then he did one last one for 7 before he got ready for a headbutt, and then it ended off. And I believe now, just by breezing through it, I think this is a Dragan flashback, so get hyped for Dragan lore. My Dragan heads. What are Dragan fans called? What are their names? We need names for fans of all the characters.
Dragan Slayers.
Dragan Slayers. The Dragan Hadrian of 6 years ago looked up from his chair as the door to his quarters opened. His curious gaze instantly transformed into a frown when he saw who it was. "Who told you where I lived?" Who told you where I lived? He glared. Like that? Like that voice?
Yeah. Maybe even a bit younger, because this was like 6 years ago as well.
Who told you where I lived?
Never mind, go back.
Who told you where I lived? He glared like that.
Maybe just go
Whatever.
back.
Mr. Fix, if he had a first name, Dragan didn't know it, was a huge man, skin a sickly gray, wearing a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. That's stranger danger, Dragan. His face was square. Oh my god, he's Mosgus. Features looking like a rock that had been sculpted by repeated pummeling over the years. He took off his hat politely as he entered the room. It's easy to find out where someone lives if you know the right people. Is that the right voice for this guy?
Maybe a bit more rumbly.
It's easy to find out where someone lives if you know the right people.
That's it.
The room wasn't very spacious, and Dragan had to do some serious bootlicking just to get it to himself, rather than sharing it with some other mouth breather. The walls and floor were stark supremacy white, with the only furniture being a table, 2 chairs, and a bed built into the floor. Any cooking would have to be done in the communal cafeteria. Ha! Dragan laughed the least genuine laugh possible. Don't make it sound like you're capable of using your brain. You beat someone up in an alley and they told you, right? Fix grunted, neither affirmation or denial. He glanced down at the object in Dragan's hands. "So you've got a new script there." There was a dragon, by the way, if you didn't notice. That's what I was joking. It's standard issue for Admin Corps. You didn't know that. Wait, Dragan was admin? What?
He's mentioned this many times.
That's like lower than supremacy, right?
Huh? That's part.
I thought he wanted to get in admin so he could be easy life.
No, this is where he already was.
Okay, what was admin? Was it lower than his current position before he got kidnapped?
That was where he was when he got kidnapped. He was doing admin core stuff.
Okay. So he's been in admin corp since he was 12, because this is 6 years ago. Right? And he's 18?
He's 19, so he's 13 here.
So 13, sorry.
It's like his training days.
Yeah. "You're any good?" The awkwardness in Fix was almost visible. They both knew he hadn't come to talk about Dragan's new script, so why couldn't they just dispense of the pretense? Yeah, I'm making them obvious so you can fix them without stopping the reading.
Rap god.
"Does what it does," shrugged Dragan, doing his best to look over Fix's shoulder rather than the man himself. It wasn't that Fix intimidated him, of course. He just brought back bad memories. "Bet you play some games on it, right? When I was a kid, there was a popular game about turnip..." "Listen," said Dragan, cutting him off.
We'll never know.
"I want to know about the turnip game, Tan!" "What do you want?" Fix's face, as ever, was impassive. No matter how uncomfortable his voice and body language may be, his face was immovable as stone. "Old man can't catch up," he said. "I am your legal guardian." Dragan scowled. "Until I can get that amended." "You're 13. You can't get that amended." This feels like every 13-year-old. It's like, "You're not my mom and dad. I hate you." Dragan's scowl deepened. Fix was right, of course, but he couldn't say that. "I have my ways," he lied, and then he asked again, "What do you want?" "Wanted to see if you were okay. Been a while." Dragan stood up, with more anger than he'd expected, and his chair fell to the ground behind him as he did. "I was doing okay," he snapped, voice harsh, "because it had been a while. The second I saw your face, it ruined my..." "Oh, Dragan, why are you such a dick?" I mean, to be fair, maybe Fix is like some fucked up person, but I just feel really bad for Fix. Probably my year, actually. If I don't ever see you again, it'd be too soon. That's how I'm doing now. Thanks for asking. Fix blinked slowly, placidly, like some colossal herbivore.
This entire scene is him walking in like, are you winning, son?
That's not fair. Dragan took an angry step forward, waving his finger up at the taller man as he spoke. Even with the huge... I can't tell if Fix is like secretly an actual bad person or if this is just Dragan being a shitty preteen. With the huge difference in stature, Dragan glared up at Fix, his rage stoking itself more and more every second. It is fair! Do you want me to tell you how you think of me? You think I'm a cute little dog you can throw treats at to prove to yourself that you're not a bad person. That's not true. Don't lie to me! Dragan screamed, wincing internally as he did so. This would doubtlessly lead to awkward questions from the other cadets later.
Like,
you're not good enough at it!
It's like, why are you screaming in your room at a large man?
Well, they're all 13, right? It would be more like, haha, your voice cracked. That's what you think of me! He took a deep breath, and when he continued, his voice was quiet, but full of venom. You think that you can do whatever fucked up crime lord shit you want. Burn down some houses, get people killed, but because you're nice to poor little Dragan Hadrian, you're a good person deep down. Let me tell you, you're not a good person deep down. He took a deep breath, looking down at the floor, before he finished. You're a piece of shit. And I wish you were dead. Oh, I can't. This hurts. Fix blinked a few times, quickly. A subdued emotional indicator, to be sure, but it was the most extreme Dragan had ever seen from him. Dragan stood there, hands balled into fists, waiting for a response. Well, he shouted, you got something to say? Before Fix could open his mouth as he had originally, the Dragan Hadrian of 60 years ago whirled around to face the Dragan Hadrian of the present. Oh my god, Meta! Who was observing from the corner. And you! He went on. How was present Dragan? Like, me? Like that?
Well, yeah, he's sort of like out of it right now, so...
Me? Said the present Dragan, voice faint and almost lifeless. This wasn't right. This wasn't how this memory was supposed to go. In his memories, Fix had said something and then stormed off. This hadn't happened. Yeah! Glared the past Dragan, now completely ignoring Fix. You! What the hell do you think you're doing? Dragan looked down at his younger self, faint confusion still racing through his head. I'm... remembering? He said tentatively. It felt as if he was being interrogated right out of bed. Oh, I saw the shonen moment coming up. No! Said the younger Dragan, fist to his hips. You're giving up! Your life's flashing before your eyes! Stop dying and think! But... mumbled Dragan, arms hanging limply by his sides as he... Sides with an exclamation point.
Oh, yeah.
Apostrophe. Okay. As he became aware that he had a body in the space. It's not that I can't win. I've already lost. He's going to smash my skull in a second. Are you dead? Interrogated the younger Dragan, now waving his finger in front of his older self's face like a teacher being presented with an especially stupid pupil. I don't think so. There's no ambiguity, the 13-year-old admonished. God, he was such a little shit. You're either dead or you're not. Answer the question. Then, I'm alive, then. Yes, I'm alive. I'm thinking right now, so I must be alive. Oh, okay, fucking Descartes. No, said his younger self. No. You're not thinking. You're remembering useless stuff like this. You're able to think, but you're not doing it. Your lifespan right now is measured in seconds, and you're wasting them. So what do I do? Said Dragan, his voice more firm than before. His thoughts were starting to have more cohesion. You're asking a kid for help? His younger self's voice had this constant mocking undertone. It really was annoying. No, said Dragan,
looking back at his past
concentrating.
videos.
I'm asking me for help. What? Are you too stupid to think of an answer? Fucking... Oh my god. His younger self scowled and snapped his fingers. The floors and walls of the apartment fell away, revealing an image of ZAKOS' head slowly coming forward to smash into Dragan. Sorry.
Oh, thank God, Dragan's going to be okay.
In other words, his present situation for a first-person perspective. This was his archive. Oh, so every time it's been archived, Dragan goes to his younger self?
Whereas like,
this
it can sort of manifest in different ways. It's like, imagine a cogitant's mind is like put together with duct tape, so it gets weird very easily.
My throat really hurts. I should have brought water. Good thing I have this 2-day-old Baja Blast.
You sip.
The younger Dragan observed, hands clasped behind his back. You'll definitely die if he lands that attack. he said unhelpfully. Your Aether's good enough to land attacks where he isn't expecting them, but your defense is shit. Dragan nodded in agreement. So my losing condition is getting hit. How long do I have? The younger Dragan leaned in to look at ZAKOS' extremely slow movement, squinting his eyes as if to inspect it more closely. Just under 2 seconds, he said after a moment. Well, one in a bunch of decimal places, but you know what I mean. I can't believe cogitants can enter bullet time. What the fuck? That's so OP. Dragan considered his predicament. As he was right now, he was as good as dead. But for every second he could think there was a chance to turn the situation around.
Fucking autocorrect is bizarre.
If he knew the method, he could do it. Am I strong enough to break his grip on me? He asked. Start from the simplest solution. No. And there's no way I can block his attack. The younger Dragan frowned. I already said you can't, idiot. Stop wasting time. Respect your elders, you little shit, Dragan said, rolling his eyes. Is there a way I could attack him before his attack reaches me? Change his focus. The younger Dragan shook his head. His arm is too long for you to cross-counter, for you to reach his body. You can only attack his arm, which wasn't effective earlier. I wouldn't recommend it. Anxiety started to fill Dragan's mind as ZAKOS' skullbuster drew closer, ever so slowly. Well, what if I punch him in the face as he's bringing his head in? Would that work if I infused my fist with Aether? With a hand to his chin, the younger Dragan nodded. Well, it would resolve this problem, yes. But, said Dragan suspiciously, the way you said that, it sounds like there's a but coming. He'd smash your fist instead of your head, and then he would kill you with his next attack. Dragan took a deep breath, looked at his gold hand. Gold hand?
I don't even remember what that was meant to be. Looked at his gold hand.
Maybe right hand? Bald hand? Bald?
His hand. I'll say his hand.
Looked at his hand. He couldn't imagine the pain of having his fist obliterated like that. An image of Bruno and Serena's hands came to mind. But he didn't really see another option. If he could block this one attack, another opportunity could present itself. The younger Dragan raised an eyebrow. Wow, you're actually thinking of doing it, aren't you? I don't see any other option, said Dragan grimly, clenching his hand into a fist. How much time would it be before his next attack if I blocked this one? About 5 seconds. Yeah, if this is bullet time for 2, oh my god, when 5 comes in. Why wasn't he doing this the whole fight?
This is like some fight or flight shit.
This is like this is his last resort. It's gonna drain all his energy. Activate cogitant bullet time. Dragan shrugged with much more confidence than he felt. Better than 2. I'll have to think of another plan during that time. The younger Dragan sneered. That's an awful plan. You're as good as dead, you know. No, said Dragan, smiling, shaking his head. I'm still thinking. He closed his eyes. He opened his eyes and plunged his fist forward. The punch erupted into a supernova of blue aether. Nothing was saved for defense. Nothing was left over. Everything he had was poured into that punch, and it shone so bright that Dragan couldn't look directly at it. Even ZAKOS hesitated, the descent of his headbutt pausing for the slightest split second. The punch could do nothing to him, of course, but a spectacle like that would give anyone pause. It was as if the end of Dragan's arm had transformed into a sapphire fireball. That would have been so much cooler if you had made it Sapphire Ball, although that wouldn't make it understandable. Nothing could stop its flight. Dragan stopped its flight. Holding it in midair, ZAKOS' head came down. The aether that covered Dragan's arm dissipated, and he made no further effort to block ZAKOS' attack as it came in. He didn't have to, after all, because he'd noticed. ZAKOS' head collided with thin air with a sound like splitting stone, and the man roared with pain. I knew this would happen! I called it, Tan, last episode! I called it! I feel so good about that! Purple aether flickered around the nearly invisible force field his skull had just clashed with. The special officer's eyes flicked over to the side, looking at where Bruno and Serena's unconscious body was supposed to be. Their body was there, but it was not unconscious. Bruno glared up from the floor. This would have been what happened if, what's-his-fuck from Part 5 ever made up with Giorno. Bruno glared up from the floor at ZAKOS, his hand weakly lifted up off the ground, projecting the force field. By all rights, Bruno should have fallen unconscious long ago, but it seemed that Bruno and Dragan had a common motivator. Spite. They couldn't let this arrogant prick be proven right. If Dragan hadn't caused ZAKOS to hesitate, Bruno wouldn't have had time to make that force field. It was a thing that could only have existed for a second or two. It was a tiny victory, brought about by coincidence. This is like when we synced our clap last episode. ZAKOS opened his mouth to say something to Bruno, to utter some threat, but in doing so he looked away from Dragan, and his head was now so very close. Dragan lunged forwards, syringe in each hand, and plunged the implements into either side of ZAKOS' neck with all his strength, screaming with the exertion. The syringes penetrated only a few inches, but that was all he needed. With another roar of effort, Dragan poured every last scrap of aether he had into the syringes. The resultant light show looking as if ZAKOS had been struck by lightning. Everything he'd been intending to use in that punch. I love how Dragan's aether is so flashy, but it's still weak. He now used on the syringes. No, on what was inside the syringes. Initially, ZAKOS could only shudder violently as the contents of the syringes, glowing bright blue, flowed into his body. But a moment later he recovered himself and threw Dragan down to the floor. He staggered backwards, slouching already, looking at his hands. Blue light could be seen through his skin, flowing through his veins. "What did you do to me?" the man roared, eyes wide with panic. Dragan picked himself up off the ground, ignoring the pain, ignoring the blood covering half his face. He pointed a limp finger at ZAKOS, grinning cockily. I injected you, he panted. Sedatives. ZAKOS laughed, but the confidence in it was gone. It was the laugh of a man waiting for the other shoe to drop, or perhaps he was feeling exhausted already. Well, Dragan wasn't one to disappoint. He spoke, the plan he'd come up with becoming clear to him as well as he laid it out in words. Infusing something with aether makes it stronger. Blades become sharper. Fists become harder. So, instead of infusing the syringe, I infused the sedatives. I made them stronger. Feeling sleepy? ZAKOS stepped forward, stumbling as he did so, his broken arm trailing on the ground behind him. I feel fine, brat. I see, replied Dragan, trying to hide the shaking of the weak legs that were holding him up. Maybe you could do with another shot then. He took a deep breath, glanced over at Bruno. The boy had finally fallen unconscious, so Dragan couldn't count on any more help there. He'd broken ZAKOS' arm, cut him off from his automatics, enraged him to the point of stupidity, and injected him with enough sedatives to put down an elephant. It was almost an even fight. Damn. My throat is dead. I really spent it all on that first recording. Oh my god, I might need to take a break and get like a cough drop or something. I'm like fucked up. Oh, it hurts really bad, Tan. My pride and joy, my voice acting. Tight. That was fun though. I really wish I'd gotten to learn more about Mr. Fix though.
We will learn more in good time.
I wonder if he truly was a good man, or if it's like he said, because that is a common trope in stories. Guy that's bad, but he raised orphans, so good. He good. But Dragan being like, you're not good. But then again, maybe Dragan's also just being fucking 13. So, I don't know. There's not enough info. Who's right, who's wrong? You decide. Oh, yeah. Here's my question. If you were to make an epic rap battle of history, which two characters from Aetheral Space do you want to have the rap battle?
Fucked up.
I choose
and Gole.
I choose Dragan and Bruno.
Oh, there'd be some fucking beef there.
Oh, that'd be so good. Alright. Bye!
Bye!